Hello and welcome to the next tutorial for the Ultimate Turn-Based Battle System for Unity. In this video, we are going to take a look at the Create Skill tab inside the Custom Ultimate Turn-Based Battle System window. Skills are one of the most important parts of any turn-based battle system because they define what heroes and enemies can actually do during battle. A skill can be a simple attack, a magical spell, a healing ability, a buff, a debuff, a status effect ability, or a more advanced action that combines several effects. For this tutorial, we will stay on the Create Skill tab. The Create Skill tab is used to create skill data assets. These assets can later be assigned to heroes and enemies. A skill is basically a reusable action definition. This means you create the skill once, save it as an asset, and then you can assign it to any hero or enemy that should be able to use it. For example, you could create a Fireball skill. Then you could assign Fireball to a mage hero, a fire enemy, a boss, or any other character that should have access to this ability. This makes skills very flexible because the same skill asset can be reused across different characters. Now let's look at the general setup of a skill. At the top of the Create Skill tab, you can define the basic information of the skill. This includes the skill name. The skill name is the name that identifies the skill in your project and can also be displayed in the Battle UI. The name should be clear and easy to understand because it helps you identify the skill later when assigning it to heroes, enemies, or enemy teams. Next, you can define the skill description. The description explains what the skill does. For example, for a Fireball skill, the description could be deals fire damage to one enemy. For a healing skill, the description could be restores HP to one ally. For a buff skill, the description could be increases strength for a few turns. The description is useful for organizing your content, and it can also be shown in the Battle UI when the player hovers over or selects a skill. You can also assign a skill icon or sprite. This can be used to visually represent the skill in the UI. For example, a fire spell could use a flame icon. A healing skill could use a green potion or light icon. A defensive skill could use a shield icon. This helps make your Battle UI more readable and more polished. Next, we have the skill cost. Skills can use MP as a resource. For example, a basic attack skill might cost 0 MP. A small fire spell could cost 5 MP. A strong ultimate ability could cost much more. When the player or enemy uses a skill, the battle system can check the MP cost and reduce the user's MP accordingly. This allows you to balance powerful skills by making them more expensive to use. Now let's talk about damage and healing. A skill can be set up to deal damage, restore HP, restore MP, or apply other effects. For a damage skill, you define what kind of damage it should deal. The battle system supports physical and magical damage formulas. Physical skills usually use the physical damage formula from the Calculations tab. Magical skills usually use the magical damage formula from the Calculations tab. For example, a sword slash would usually be physical. A fireball spell would usually be magical. A healing spell does not need to deal damage, but can instead restore HP or MP. This makes the Create Skill tab work together with the Calculations tab. The skill defines what it is. The Calculations tab defines how the final damage or healing values are calculated. Next, you can assign an affinity to the skill. Affinities are the damage types or elements created in the Affinities tab. For example, a Fireball skill could use the Fire affinity. An Ice Spear skill could use the Ice affinity. A sword attack could use the Physical affinity. A lightning spell could use the Lightning affinity. When the skill hits a target, the battle system checks how that target reacts to the skill's affinity. If the target is weak to that affinity, it takes increased damage. If the target resists it, it takes reduced damage. If the target blocks it, the damage is cancelled. If the target repels it, the attack is reflected. If the target absorbs it, the target is healed instead. This is what makes affinities so important for skill design. A skill is not just about its damage value. It also becomes part of the tactical battle system, because different enemies can react to the same skill in different ways. Now let's look at target modes. Target mode defines who the skill can be used on. For example, it could target either one enemy or one ally. It could target all enemies and all allies. It could target one ally. It could target all allies. It could target one enemy, or it could target all enemies. This is very important for designing different types of skills. A basic attack usually targets one enemy. A fire explosion could target all enemies. A heal spell could target one ally. A party heal could target all allies. A team buff could target the full party. So when creating a skill, always think about who should be affected by it. Next, we have status effects. Skills can apply status effects to their targets. For example, a poison strike skill could deal physical damage and apply poison. A fireball skill could deal fire damage and apply burn. A rally cry skill could apply a strength up effect to allies. A defense break skill could apply a defense down effect to one enemy. This is where the Create Skill tab works together with the Status Effects tab. You first create the status effect as a reusable asset. Then you assign it to a skill. When the skill is used in battle, the effect can be applied to the target. This makes it possible to create much more interesting skills than just simple damage actions. You can also create skills that are mainly used for support. For example, a skill could deal no damage at all, but only apply a buff. Or it could heal HP and also remove a negative status effect. Or it could restore MP over time by applying a regeneration effect. Depending on how your skill is configured, you can create many different types of abilities. Now let's talk about visual effects. Skills can use visual effect prefabs to make the battle feel more alive. For example, a fireball skill could spawn a fire effect, an ice spear skill could spawn an ice effect. A healing skill could spawn a green or golden healing effect. A lightning skill could spawn an electric effect. These visual effects help the player understand what is happening during battle. A skill can also use damage number prefabs. Damage numbers show the result of the skill directly in the battle scene. For example, damage could be shown with red numbers, healing could be shown with green numbers, MP restoration could use a different color. Blocked, repelled, absorbed, weak, or resisted reactions can also use different visual feedback depending on your setup. Good feedback is very important in turn-based battles because the player should immediately understand what happened. Now let's talk about how skills are assigned after they are created. When you create or edit a hero, you can add skills to that hero's skill list. Each skill can have an unlock level. This means a hero does not need to know every skill from the beginning. For example, a mage could learn Fireball at level 1, Ice Spear at level 5, Thunderstorm at level 12, and Meteor at level 25. The skill system checks the hero's current level and determines which skills are learned. The same works for enemies. When creating enemies, you can assign skills and unlock levels to their enemy data. This allows stronger enemies or higher level enemies to use more advanced skills. This gives you many options for scaling difficulty and creating different encounter types. In the next tutorials, we will continue with the other tabs of the Ultimate Turn-Based Battle System window and look at how they work together to create complete, turn-based RPG battles. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials and updates about the Ultimate Turn-Based Battle System.